أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
It did not come with that ideology. Rather, Islam came with an understanding that Allah has created you with a love naturally of these matters. So you are allowed to have them, but under the guidelines that Allah has placed for you, within the parameters and the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed. So there is a halal way of fulfilling your desires, but there's also a haram way of fulfilling your desires. And Allah Azza wa Jal for the haram gave you severe warnings, and for the halal gave you much recommendation and reward for it. From amongst those matters is the matter of the protection of your private parts. You, as a person who naturally wants this matter, needs to know that you are not just allowed because you want something to get after it. Rather, there needs to be discipline in your life. Just because you hate someone doesn't mean that you can curse them or lie about them or slander them or physically abuse them. The same thing with this matter. Just because you desire something doesn't mean that you go out and get it. This is an imbalance that modern Western philosophy has unfortunately gotten wrong when it comes to understanding desires. For them, everything is halal. As long as you're not harming anyone, do whatever you want. Permissible, impermissible, religiously, moral, immoral, doesn't matter. If you desire it and you want it, go for it. As long as you're not harming anyone, everything is permissible in their eyes. In the Sharia, no. In the Sharia, just because you desire something, yes, it's from your nature, but it means that you have to get it in a particular way. And that way is a way only pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anything against that is not allowed. So when Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, those regarding their private parts are protective. Means ultimately they don't fall into zina. They don't fall into zina. These people don't fornicate. They don't partake in premarital relationships nor extramarital relationships. Whether it's before marriage or whilst you're in marriage, you don't go to things which are not halal for you. The men to the women and all the women to the men. This is not allowed Islamically. But from the wisdom of the Sharia, if it prohibits something, it prohibits all the paths that lead to it. And this is also something not prevalent in modern Western philosophy and their lifestyle, where if they make something illegal, they don't make everything that leads to it also illegal. If you were to look at so many of the crimes, yes, the crime is bad, but what led to it? You have a whole lifestyle that leads to the problem. The lifestyle you've allowed, but then that problem itself, you have an issue with. If you want to prevent this, you prevent everything that goes to that. Now, some countries are actually starting to pick up on this and saying, if we want to be smart and we don't want this problem to happen, the paths that lead to it, we need to also stop it. But because they're secular and because they're liberal, they always tiptoe on the liberties that they give people, the freedoms that they give people. Now, I don't know how many of you are following these types of matters, but when it comes to children and social media, there are now age restrictions. You're not allowed to be on social media if you are below a certain age. What you do get access to on social media, you cannot get access to unless you are logged into your account. In terms of certain sites that have certain adult content, these, some of them, they're banned unless you log in to show that you are an adult. Why? Because of what it's caused children. The negative effects that it's caused children, which we're going to speak about inshallah Azza wa Jal today. You also have very recently the matter of gambling. Because of the problems that gambling was causing in society, they wanted to, because they're, again, secular liberal society, they don't want to say there's no gambling. Even though ultimately that's what they should say. And it's what they would actually want to say based on the science. But because of the liberties that they want to give the people, they can't. So the problem that they were having was, you want people not to fall into problems regarding gambling, but everything, especially when you watch sports, everything is a promotion of gambling. What's on the sponsorship boards, what's on the halftime ads, what's on the jerseys of the players, etc. It's all gambling. So now they've actually prohibited a lot of that. they're saying, for example, in 1 hour, you can only have maximum of 3 ads. No more advertising of gambling on the shirts. No more sports stars or famous people to advertise the gambling to the masses. Yani they have different rules in place. So they're trying to pick up the mess and clean up the mess that they've made. But again, Islamically speaking, we are even more strict than that. If something is bad, the path that leads to that is also bad. If something is bad, the path that leads to that is also bad. And so when Allah Azza wa Jal talks about safeguarding your private parts and He's safeguarding your chastity and your modesty, it's not just don't commit zina. No, we have another direct command. What's the other direct command? Don't go even close to zina. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Don't go close to zina. Don't go close to zina. Meaning anything that leads you down the path of zina, don't go down. That's why we have in the Sharia, Allah Azza wa Jal tells us to protect our private parts. وَغُضُّ الْبَصَرِ. Lower your gaze. You don't just do one without the other. We don't say, look, do whatever you want. When I was in primary school, one of the teachers, we used to joke, we're primary school, we're kids. And he was making certain jokes. This is in primary school. When it so happens when you go up in Australia. He was making certain jokes about attractive women. And we go, sir, you're married. He goes, you can look at the cake, but you just can't have it. I can almost guarantee you now he's cheated on his wife, Allah alam. Because this is something that is wrong. You can't tread a path and then not expect to come to the destination that path stops at. In Islam, zina is haram. Don't get any zina, meaning don't do the things that make you fall into zina. We're going to get to the questions at the end, Ya Hamza. You go on, man. You should know the rules by now, Ya Hamza. Don't do the things that lead a person to zina. When the Prophet ﷺ spoke about zina, he didn't just speak about zina in terms of the final act, the ultimate act of intimacy itself. But rather, he spoke about other things that commit zina, like al-ayn. Wal-aynu tazni. Wa-zinaha an-nazar. That the eye commits zina also. The eye fornicates also. What's its fornication? It's looking. The ear commits zina. The tongue commits zina. Meaning that you are doing that which leads to ultimately fornication, a'yadhan billah. So if you don't want to fall into the ultimate act, what do? You prevent yourself from taking the path towards it. This is very relevant for our youth, especially our youth. It's relevant to those who are older and those who are younger. But especially our youth, because our youth, the hormones for them are the ones that are raging, generally speaking. And they are the ones that are surrounded by this 24/7. And the majority of them, they don't have a halal outlet. They're not married. And they, a lot of the time, are the ones through school or university and or TAFE or the workplace. They are the ones who are surrounded with the opportunity of this. So, yes, you all know, everyone knows that zina is haram. Everyone knows that. But from the problems is that they are taking, a'yadhan billah, the steps towards zina. How? From amongst the worst of them is the eyes. Looking at that which is haram. Looking at that which is haram, shabab, is anything that you're not meant to be looking at it. No matter how innocent you think it may be. That's why for the parents, first and foremost, it's your responsibility not to desensitize your children from a young age. A lot of parents from a young age, they will take their children to places where it becomes the absolute norm for the children to see things which are inappropriate. If you go, for example, now alhamdulillah going into winter, so it's not as bad, but when the weather is hot, you see a lot of families, they'll take their children, for example, to the beach. A young boy seeing what he sees on the beach, what's going to happen? It's normal. And if it doesn't happen, then that's abnormal. But when you as a parent take your young child there, what have you done? You've made that matter acceptable. Like, this is normal. This is normal. If we go to these places, it's normal. Khalas, it is what it is. What your children watch on TV shows or on movies, You're putting on for your children. What are your children watching? This becomes normal. Oh, they're wearing this type of clothing. They're moving in this certain way. Certain body parts are showing. It's normal. You want to watch it? It's fine. It's fine. Don't commit zina. Don't commit zina. But all of this is normal. This, for a young boy, we'll get to the young girls inshallah, but more men are more visually spacious. We get affected more with what we see. That's why the women in Islam wear the hijab and not the men, because we get affected from things differently. When the young boys see this and they grow up with this, it's extremely hard for them to stay away from other haram things. Because it started off innocently, but then we naturally want to go to the next step. That's again how human beings are. We become desensitized. This is no longer stimulating, so when the opportunity presents itself, we go to that which is worse. We go to that which is worse. When it comes to the zina of the eye, unfortunately, we don't even need to look into the real world anymore. Many of us, because of the vices, have a'yadhan billah, fallen into the sin of that which is worse than what you see outside. And this is something I wanted to focus on, especially for our youth. And I have to be a little bit explicit, but I'll try and be as good with my words as possible. But those who are the target audience, inshallah azza wa jal, understand. So when it comes to you looking, don't get yourself used to it, because it's going to lead to that which is worse. That desire with opportunity, especially with devices in the home, this is going to make the problem compounded, because the access to that which is worse, you guys know what I'm talking about. The access to that which is worse is so simple. So simple. And when a person starts watching these things, the addiction to it and trying to leave it is worse. For those of you that remember heroin, or those of you that ever heard about heroin, just drugs in general, it's harder to leave this particular matter than it is to leave drugs. This is not my words. Again, these are the words of the ones that study it. Those who are a little bit older and they remember heroin and the heroin epidemic that Australia had, especially in Sydney, and or they had people that they know were on heroin, addicted to heroin, tried to get off heroin. The addiction to these particular movies, okay, that people watch, not normal movies, we're talking about other movies. The addiction to leave it is harder than the leaving heroin. When we see something that we like, our brain releases certain chemicals to say, oh, mashallah, this was good, that was mad. When we do something that we like, again, it releases these chemicals. It's called dopamine. Naam, dopamine, and it relaxes you. You release also endorphins. So your brain releases chemicals that make you feel good. When your brain releases these, your body becomes addicted to it. This is good, this was mad, this was such a good feeling. I want it again and again and again and again and again. There are certain things in life which will give you that, but you can't have it all the time. If you went somewhere that you really like, you had food that you really enjoyed, maybe you got it, but it's not accessible to you all the time. The problem with devices is you can get that multiple times a day, no problem. Easily accessible. It releases in your brain. The problem with it is you get addicted very quickly, but you also become what? As we said, desensitized. So for many of our youth, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, they grew up without the understanding that you need to preserve your modesty, which starts with not looking at the haram. Then they had the opportunity to look at more haram. They done that haram, they liked it because it's natural that your body's going to react that way. It became an addiction. Without getting into too much detail, for parents, your children should not have devices. When your kids are young, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, they should not have devices. They don't have their own devices at all. If you want to give them devices to play sometimes, to do homework or whatever it is, no problem. But it's your device, the parents, and they get to use it at times. When they use it supervised. There is no such thing as, wallah, this kid is on his phone in the room. Never. Your child, these young children, should never have a device alone in their rooms. Never. You want to use the iPad, you want to play on the PlayStation, you want to watch something on the phone, no problem. You watch here, in the living room, in the kitchen, for example. You don't get to the room with it. The kid can be a very good kid. The kid can be a very good kid, but they are human beings. Human beings have desires. When desires, again, are coupled with opportunity, it becomes very easy for us to make mistakes. So you don't want to give them the opportunity so that you can prevent them from falling into the mistake in the first place, inshallah. As they say, prevention is better than cure. When they're a little bit older, 11, 12, 13, they may need a phone here and there. For example, he's going to his friend's house. He may need a device for him to take with him for you to contact them. Yes, it's possible. But that doesn't mean it's their phone, you do whatever you want with it. You give it to them when they need it. Number two, you as a parent should have certain applications that you can download. Some are for free, some require a very cheap membership fee. There's a lot of different ones. Go online and find which one's best for you and your family. Where you can put all of the devices in the household, including the parents, to make sure that certain applications are either blocked or monitored. They're either blocked or monitored. Yes, of course, there's always a way out. But for the vast majority of people, especially the younger children, they, alhamdulillah, alameen, will be decent on them. Certain apps, blocked. Even YouTube. A lot of the kids will sit there, oh, it's just YouTube, it's YouTube Shorts. What that is feeding out from the algorithm is not healthy for your children. And again, at a young age, it's one thing. As they get older, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So these apps, some you can block altogether. Apps that you want to allow them to play, you can even put a time limit on it. I want them to only be able to play for half an hour. They can choose in the day when they play for half an hour. If they want to play more, they need to ask you. So you have the control on what they watch. When they get older, 15, 16, 17 years old, again, this is a whole separate conversation. It's much harder for you to control your children at that age. So as a parent, you need to be doing the work much earlier than that. Much earlier than that. And for the young boys that are here, especially the boys under 13 years old, you know what I want you to do when your parents tell you to do something? Shut the heck up and do it. Not just do it. What's the first three words? Shut the heck up. 4. No problem. Okay, we're going to, what? You want to fight about it? No. No. You shut the heck up and you do it. You understand? Not arguing. Understand? Good. If your parents told me to listen, bah, gone, finished. Understand? Then you actually wake up when you're 17, like, what happened for the last 7 years? You went to sleep because you didn't shut the heck up. Tayyib. When they're young, they don't have a choice. Some parents, they complain, oh, wallah, what do you want me to do? Wallahi, a grown man, big Muslim man, tabarakallah. His daughter comes and he complains about his daughter. His daughter is 6 years old. His daughter is 6 years old. He's a grown man. Allahu alam how much he can probably bench press me easily, tabarakallah. Muscles. His daughter comes, Baba, can I have your phone? No, Baba. Baba, please. No, Baba. Baba, please. Okay, here I go. I look at him, I said, bro, you were just complaining. You were just complaining that your children don't listen to you because they're on the device all the time. And I said, you just gave it to me. He goes, yeah, I know, what can I do? What do you mean, what can you do? Wallah, he said that, oh, but I wanted to give them, Wallah, I wanted to do 700 times worse to him. Wallah. Because the problem is, what these parents don't realize is you've just set that child up for failure. No parent on the face of the earth, no parent on the face of the earth that's half decent, Muslim or non-Muslim, wants bad for their children. So sometimes we, out of that soft nature as a parent, we give in to the needs of the children. But as a parent, your job is not to give your children what they want, but rather you need to give your children what they need. Sometimes you need to give them tough love. Sometimes you need to teach them discipline. Sometimes you need to teach them in life that you don't get what you want. What's the alternative? If there's a better alternative, I'll get you the better alternative. But just because you want to, I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you cry. You learn. But our problem as parents is we a lot of time want convenience too. So we don't want to hear them crying. So we just give it to them as a pacifier. But we're destroying that child. And then those parents, that particular couple especially that I'm talking about, they kill my life. But they're related to me, so I can say this. Naam. Allah musta'an. I always tell them, you have destroyed your children. You've destroyed your children. The children, they don't respect them. They don't respect them. Why? Because you fried their brains. You have fried their brains through these devices. And it's only going to get worse. As they get older, it will only get worse. Tayyib. As parents, and this is for the youth too. As parents, there are certain apps that your children should not have at all. As parents, there are certain apps that your children should not have at all. Number one on the list, TikTok. Your child should not have TikTok. Even you shouldn't have TikTok. There is no excuse, no justification for you to have TikTok. You know what's going to come up there. You know what you watch. If you don't believe me, you don't want to listen to me, no problem. When you go home, spend half an hour on TikTok and just write down in that half an hour what you watched. If you can tell me 3 minutes, 10%, 3 minutes of what you watched was halal and Islamically productive, let me know, inshallah azza wa jal. I'll apologize to you. But we all know what comes up. Sheikh, it's based on algorithm. Yes, I understand that what you spend time on is going to come. That's what's going to stay. But what these algorithms do is they throw something at you here and there. See if you're going to watch or not. So even if, mashallah, you only watch any soccer. So the only thing that comes up on your TikTok is soccer. They'll throw in, for example, for the sisters. Yes, I'm telling you this so you can watch your husband too. They'll throw in, for example, a female. This female looks like she came straight from Jannah, from Hur al-Ain to here. Akhi, as a man, the first time, Tabarak, you swapped very quickly. Allahumma barik. The second time you watch for 2 seconds. TikTok says, got ya. The next time you watch for 5 seconds. Then all you see is an army of Hur al-Ain on your TikTok feed. This is a problem. It's natural. That you as a man desire women, it's natural. That's why we're told to lower our gaze and not follow the steps of shaitan. That's why Allah tells us that. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He tells us something, it's practical. Because this is what's going to happen. Some people say, Sheikh, but on TikTok, they told me, Sheikh, Wallah, I get also Islamic reminders and Quran that comes up on TikTok. I know what we do. We are not on TikTok because we want an Islamic reminder. We're there because we want fun and to muck around. When that Islamic reminder comes up, we flick it so fast. If they got a stopwatch, it's immeasurable how fast we are. It's immeasurable. Straight away. You see just Quran come up. You see Sheikh reminder. That's not what you're there for. Salatul Jummah, people come and they can barely pay attention. They want to sit at home in between all of the fun that they're having, and they're going to listen to a Sheikh, Allahumma barik. Yes, again, there may be one benefit that you took out of 700 videos, but that's not a good ratio to have. Now, so TikTok for you as a parent, no. And for your children, 100% no. I don't know about Australia, but I know in America, two of the things that they showed and they proved, TikTok was showing to underage children was a pushing of the LGBTQIA plus agenda. Propaganda. Number 2, suicide. And you had many young children commit the act, both of them, because of these apps. Because of these apps. There's kids here. I love doing adult-only lessons just so I can get into detail because I don't want to put bad ideas in their head. But there have been children even here that we know of, not in Wollongong, alhamdulillah, but in Sydney, that we've dealt with, who unfortunately have fallen into these problems, both. Because of what they see on these things and what gets pushed to them. So don't belittle what we're saying. The second app that your child should not have is Snapchat. Snapchat, your child should not have. Oh, Sheikh, everyone at school is using Snapchat. Yeah, I know why. I know why they all use Snapchat. Because of what you can hide and how you can hide and how you can delete what you can delete. So, if you want to talk to your friends, no problem, you've got WhatsApp. Can you do dodgy things on WhatsApp? Of course you can. But like WhatsApp, no. Naam. WhatsApp is not there for people that want to have normal conversations. People do on it. People do. But it's set up for things to disappear. That's what it's set up for. Naam. It's set up for you to be secretive. That's why it's the cheater's app of choice. Naam. So if a person has children, they should not have Snapchat. And if all the young boys here, also you should not have Snapchat. You know better than I do. Naam, don't lie to yourself. You know better than I do. So, if you have these two apps, delete it. If you want to talk to your friends, you can make a WhatsApp group. Now, you force them to come over to the group. And if they're not willing to be inclusive for you, willing to be upright, then khalas, maybe it's a good idea for you to get rid of their friends altogether. جيد. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. Be very careful of doing that which leads to it. Now, as we said, beginning with the looking. Now, beginning with the looking. The second matter that we want to talk about regarding the look is people misunderstanding certain ahadith. From the most famous of them is the one look. Okay? When the Prophet said, لا تتبع النظرة, don't follow up the look with another look. Number one, this is not a look by choice. It is not, oh, this girl's got a mad account, let me go look at her Instagram account. You don't go looking. Naam. You don't go looking. And if you do look, or you do see, I should say, you don't keep looking. Naam. It's something popped up in front of you, astaghfirullah, and you turn away straight away. There's one brother, Allah, he actually passed away, Allah yarhamuhu. What he used to do this all the time, and it was very bad, so don't do this. We would be all in a car, and if he's seen something haram, he would say, astaghfirullah. So naturally, a car full of testosterone, Tabarak, what do they all do? They want to say, what's the astaghfirullah? Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Now, khalas, if there's something bad, Allah yarhamu, he's passed away now. If you see something bad, you turn away straight away. Now you turn away straight away. فَإِنِّي لَكَ الْأُولَى وَلَيْسَ لَكَ الْآخِرَةِ. You have the first look, as in, you're not held accountable. It popped up in front of you, you didn't have a choice. You seen it. Then what should you do? Move away straight away. Lower the gaze, turn away, delete it off your, off whatever app you're on, etc. Move away from it. Now you're not allowed to continue to look or to look multiple times thereafter. Also, part of this is for the men that are married. For the men that are married, the Prophet ﷺ advised that if you see something that attracts you, to go to your spouse. Naam, to go to your spouse. And it will remove the evil effect of that look. Naam. I hope the married men understand what I'm talking about. Again, Islam gave us practical solutions. Islam gave us practical solutions. It said that you're going to say haram, what are you going to do? Just sit there, do tasbih? No. Go to your spouse. Naam, go to your spouse. Tayyib. If we talk about the haram, then obviously, again, there are many other forms of and ways of falling into zina. We're not going to get through all of them. The last one that I want to mention is befriending. There's no such thing as befriending the opposite gender. That doesn't exist. Naam. Women, their makeup is very different to the makeup of men. So for women, there are a lot of women that will have no problem having a guy friend. She has no ill intentions towards. The man is very different. The man is the exact opposite. For any female that has a male friend and she thinks that he only thinks of her as a sister, I'm telling you, he's a liar. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. In Islam, men are friends with the men, women are friends with the women. Naam, you have your mahram, your father, your uncle, your son, your brother, your nephew, naam, your father-in-law, etc. You have your mahram, no problem. Sit and talk and be friends with your maharim. As for a non-mahram friend, whether he's a relative like a cousin, or he's a stranger, a random person, or he's someone from like school or your workplace, we don't have friends in that regard. Yes, you can be respectful, someone at work or school, nothing wrong with being respectful. They ask you a question, you answer, etc. But to befriend and to talk, hi, how are you? What are you doing? Like the work hubby and the work wifey. You know this? You don't know this? You have one? Or you don't have one? A'udhu billah. No, خلاص, we're besties. And at work, and how was your day? What was your day, Mara? Sure. And they get out for coffee, and they get out for lunch, and they travel together. La, 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 la. This is not right. And this is not right. The man and the woman are not alone, except who's the third? Shaitan. Shaitan. And if it's not today, don't worry, it's very soon. Very soon. Shaitan has until when? Shaitan has until the day of judgment. He doesn't need you to commit haram tomorrow. That's what Allah Azza wa Jalla made the lead up to haram, haram. The lead up to haram, haram. Because we said there's desire plus what? Opportunity. That's when disaster happens. That's when disaster happens. And this, yani, Allah understand again, the stories that we know about, it's sickening. So, this matter of friendship, no, it doesn't exist. A lot of brothers, what happens when they finally get to a marriage age? Now, let's say he's 20, 21, 22, and he says, Sheikh, I want to get married, but my parents are against me marrying this particular girl. Who's the particular girl? It's a girl he's been boyfriend, girlfriend with for the past 7, 8 years. You tell him, Habibi, she's not a woman that you want to be married to. She's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, but Sheikh, I love her. See this problem? Sheikh, I love her. Who put that love in your heart? Did Allah Azza wa Jal force you to love her? Or you built up that wall between you and Allah? You built that wall between you and Allah, now you have to get over that wall, Habibi. Simple. If she's willing to become Muslim and change her life, maybe not, inshallah. But generally speaking, she's not a good woman to get married to. So don't have this business of boyfriend and girlfriend. If you want to get married, take the means to get married in the halal, which we'll speak about next, inshallah. If not, then get after in the haram. Because the haram is not going to lead to goodness. You take the path of haram, you're not going to beat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If he made something haram, he removed the barakah from it. He removed the blessing from it. And it will only lead to bigger problems. Inna Allah tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyiban. Allah is pure, he only accepts that which is pure. Don't think you're going to come to a good conclusion via a bad route. The bad route will only lead to that which is worse. You want to do good, you have to be patient and seek that which is good. Naam. But this befriending, again, there's desire. When opportunity presents itself, it's easier to fall into the haram. Boyfriend, girlfriend, no. Tayyib, Allah Azza wa Jal gives you the halal solution. إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين. Except those who seek these relations with their spouse, أزواجهم, their wives, أو ما ملكت أيمانهم, or if they have slaves in Islam, this is a whole separate matter. The male and the male with the female slaves, this is a separate matter altogether. فإنهم غير ملومين. Regarding them, then there is no blame. Yani you as a man, you have this desire, no problem. Go after that which is halal. You want to get married? Get married. You want to fulfill your desires? You do it in the halal. Not only is it good, but you get rewarded for doing it in the halal. وَفِي بُدُوِ أَحَدُكُمْ صَدَقَةً. And in the intimate act that one of you has, there is reward in it. You get rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Sahaba anhum were amazed, shocked. What do you mean we come and fulfill our desires and we have hasanat? Yani, Ya Rasulullah, ayati ahaduna shahwata fayakun lahu fi ajr. One of us comes and fulfills his desires and he has reward in it. The Prophet ﷺ replied, أرأيتم لو ضاع في حرام أكان عليه وزر كذلك لو ضاع في حلال كان له أجر. أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Do you not see that if he was to go and do it in haram, wouldn't he be sinful? Likewise, if he does it in halal, he will be rewarded. So this is not only a, again, recommended matter, but this is something that the Sharia rewards you for. Rewards you for. When it comes to marriage, we need to be building our young men and women to be ready for marriage. A lot of people, when do they want their children to get married? When their desires have dropped. Yani part of marriage, part of it, a massive part of it, is the preservation of the modesty of an individual. يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Oh, young men, whoever amongst you is able to get married, let him get married. فليتزوج. Let him get married. فإنه for verily it is أغض للبصر وأحسن للفرج. It is easier, or it helps lower the gaze. It's easier to lower your gaze. And it is more of a protection for the private parts. Yani, part of this marriage is that it helps you fulfill your desire in the halal, so you don't have a need to go out in the haram to seek your desires. So when it comes to marriage, this should be a desire that young men and young women have, which they do have. But a lot of them, they lack the capacity to get married. They lack the financial means to get married. Some parents will say they lack also the maturity to get married. Now, financial means, put it aside. Maturity. Someone says, my child lacks the maturity for marriage. Who's to blame first and foremost? Good. The parents are to blame first and foremost. So if you are a parent here, that has children, make sure you raise your children to be men and to be women who, Allah barik, are men and women from a young age. Yani, we look at, Tamim, how old are you? 18. Do you think you're ready to be a man of a house?
What do you think?
No. Okay? I love you, you're the best, Allah barik, Egyptian named Tamim here. Naam. Yani, Allah barik, amazing hair, tabarakallah, beautiful beard, tabarakallah, very tall, tabarakallah. But, yani, do I think that you're ready to go and open up a household? You know what? Maybe. Okay, I'll put up to maybe. But 18 years old, like back in the days, this person was almost a grandfather. Now, 18 years old, yani, khalas, you're 18 years old, you've got life experience. You've got life experience. Have you done anything amazing in life? Not in a bad way. Have you done anything amazing in life?
Yeah.
Like?
I came to this lesson.
You came to this lesson, Jazakallah khairan. Khalas, you're ready for marriage. He knows how to use his tongue in a sweet way. Khalas. A lot of time, it's not that, again, it's not his fault. It's not that yani, he's got a retardation or some sort of disability. It's just that we don't have enough experience. We don't have enough experience in life. And that's why we don't know how to deal with different situations. Now, we don't know how to deal with situations. It's not Tamim. This is usually across the board. 18, 19 years old, a lot of the young men, they're not ready to get married. Women mature earlier than men. They actually reach maturity, not just mentally, physically and mentally, before men. So an 18-year-old female, she was more than ready to get married. Now, more than ready to get married. If a person actually raises their children, subhanAllah, this is my fault for coming a little bit late. If a person actually raises their children with the mindset, getting them ready for the responsibilities of marriage and builds and instills in them the skills for marriage, inshallah azza wa jalla, by the time they're young men, like 18 years old, 19 years old, they should be able to get married because they've got that maturity. So they've got the physical ability, they've got the mental capacity, inshallah azza wa jalla, and when you instill in them, they have the capability also. What's left is the financial capacity and capability of many of our youth. That's what holds a lot of them back from marriage. Now, if you again are a parent who, Allah barik, has a bit of money, help your children get married. Even if they're girls. If your daughter is ready for marriage and there's a young man, Allah barik, who's suitable for marriage for your daughter, but he can't get married, but you believe he's a good husband, in the future, maybe now he's in uni. So maybe if I have to help him now get married, do it. And then inshallah he becomes a man who's financially stable later on. Amazing. Okay, that's your daughter. Don't you want goodness for your daughter? How many people, they have, Allah barik, daughters, sons, well, physically, mentally, they're very well prepared for marriage, but they don't have the financial means. If the father has the financial means to assist your children in getting married, inshallah there'll come a point where they are independent now. They don't need your assistance anymore. But what better thing to give to your child than a life partner, inshallah azza wa jal, who's suitable for them and who's good for them in their religion and in their worldly affairs. As opposed to many of us, we have the ability to assist our children, or sometimes they even have the financial capacity to get married, but we purposely and forcefully delay them until they get to an age where they are no longer desirable. You know what's sad? Back in the day it was different. Between an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old, there's like a world of difference. If you go back 20, 30 years ago, there was a world of difference because they had life experience, life skills, they matured, etc. Nowadays, your average 18-year-old and 25-year-old, there isn't that much difference. Why? Because the 18-year-old, if he doesn't go and build himself, what does he do? He stays a dad. He stays in his house, playing video games, hanging out with his two friends if he talks to them, and he sits on his phone all day. So there's 7 years, there was no maturity, there was no growth. There was no expansion of him as an individual. So it's not like saying, khalas, wait 25 years, inshallah, then you'll be married. Then you'll be ready for marriage. A lot of the time, if they're not ready by 18, they're not ready by 25 either, and that's a sad fact. That's a very sad fact. When it comes to the girls, it's even worse. Because if the girl doesn't get married, it only gets harder as she gets older. And I don't say these sisters to scare you. But I say this to tell you a truth that many people lie to you about. If she, 18, 19, 20 years old, she's ready, 100% ready for marriage, and there's someone suitable for marriage for her, and we say, no, she's too young. I've said it so many times before. You know how many girls I know of personally, wallahi, so many girls have cried, so much tears in front of me, because they started looking when they were about 25 years old. We may think, okay, it's not that big of a deal. 25 years old is not that old. You're right. But what if there isn't another suitable 25-year-old or 26 or 27 or 28-year-old for you at that age? Then 26 goes by, 27 goes by, 28 goes by, 29 goes by, 30, still not married. Then you present sometimes an option. Look, there's this guy, there's that guy. Oh, no, he's been divorced. I don't want a divorced person. I've never been married before. Oh, he's divorced with kids. No, I don't want divorced with kids. No, I don't want to be a second wife. Whatever the excuse is. You know how many of our sisters are 30 plus, not married? Very attractive women, tabarakallah, financially stable, they're smart, Allah mabarak. But when they had the opportunity, no one wanted to take it. The parents withheld it, and it only led to bigger problems later on. Be very careful of destroying your children with your own hands. As for the young men especially, if you are young and you actually intend to get married, make sure you are working. Yani you've got your studies. Don't leave your studies. No, don't leave your studies. But in school holidays, you can get a part-time job. During the week, you can get a part-time job. From a young age, you can start to save up. Speak to your parents. Maybe your parents own their house. Maybe they can build you a granny flat, whatever it is. But work towards being financially able to get married, inshallah. You're right, it is very expensive to get married. But you need to do what's necessary to prepare yourself for it. If you're, Allah barik, 15 years old, and you have an intention to get married young, and you've been working part-time for 5 years, by the time you're 20, you should have a decent amount of money to at least start. It. You're right, you're not going to be able to build a mansion and buy Louis Vuitton bags as presents for your wife, but you should have enough. You should have enough to be able to live a decent lifestyle where inshallah you can grow when you become more financially stable. You understand? So there is a haram route. We don't want the haram route. What do? You take the halal route. The halal route requires work, requires effort, but it's pure. And when you do it properly. Allah Azza wa Jalla places barakah in it. This is where true goodness and happiness is. The boys and girls, obviously, but for boys this is much worse. Don't watch bad stuff. Don't watch bad stuff. We spoke about the haram aspect. We're not going to have time except, I'll just mention one point on it. This can do irreversible damage to your brain. These things can do irreversible damage to your brain, where you become like a zombie. No joke. This is a reality. You become like a zombie. And if you watch these things, even if you do get married, can affect your marriage in a very negative way. We can speak more details later on, inshallah, when we have a bit more of an appropriate crowd. But for now, my warning is, even if it's the fear of Allah, ayadhan billah, doesn't stop you, don't allow yourself to fall into these things, because they will damage you. And they will damage you for the rest of your life. And it is extremely hard to reverse that problem. A lot of the damage is irreversible, but even that which is reversible is extremely hard. And to relapse and fall back into it is extremely easy. So fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding it. Get married, stay away from the haram, speak to your parents, work with your parents to inshallah Azza wa Jalla become amazing men and women ready for marriage at a young age. What age do you want to get married? Quick. You don't know? What age do you want to get married? Quick. Soon as possible. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Do you want to come on the camera and see if there's anyone available for marriage?
The camera's one way.
Yeah, no, you can. He's a smart kid on Vedic. He said the camera's one way. So the sisters can see him, but he can't see the sisters. How old are you now?
10.
He's 10 years old, Allah By 12, Allah he needs to be married, Major. 12 years old, maximum he's married. Since you gave the right answer, I want you now to see the light and to follow the right team, which are the Canterbury Bulldogs. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us protect our private parts and keep our eyes and our ears and our tongues away from all that which leads to that which is worse, from the haram of fornication and other sins. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله على محمد وعلى آله محمد وصحبه أجمعين.